Joining us now from Washington, the ranking member of the House Select Committee on Intelligence, Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff of California. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thanks. Great to be with you.
Caddy Kay has the first question. Caddy?
Yeah, so Congressman Schiff, I don't know if you saw it this week. The British Prime Minister took the occasion to really slam President Putin on the issue of interference in Western elections. And it was a marked contrast to the kinds of things that President Trump said when he was in Asia, where he basically gave the benefit of the doubt to Vladimir Putin. And I was wondering whether you felt that the president's comments to Moscow in any way hamper or undermine your work on the investigation.
Well, they certainly do, and more importantly, they undermine our ability to protect ourselves against the next Russian interference. Because probably the most important thing we can do is not necessarily hardening our computer systems at the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, but rather forming a national consensus that we will reject foreign intervention. If the President of the United States can't even acknowledge what his intelligence agencies are telling him, or continues to cast doubt on it, or claim this is all a hoax, it doesn't help the country prepare for when the Russians might very well do this again. And the Russians have not let up. We see the social media campaign continuing. We see their interference in other countries around the world continuing. So yes, I think it certainly hurts our investigation in the sense it gives more momentum to the critics, the Steve Bannons of the world, to go after and try to shut us down. But more importantly, it prevents us from taking the steps we need to protect ourselves going forward.
Congressman, it's Willie Geist. As Caddy alluded to, the president, while he was in Asia abroad, basically slammed the former heads of the CIA, FBI, and national intelligence and said, look, Vladimir Putin told me he didn't do it. What more can I do? How many times can you ask a guy the same question? Could you just recap, because you are so on the inside of this investigation, have such access to this information, what exactly the conclusion of the intelligence community was about whether or not Russia meddled in this election?
Well, the consensus of the intelligence agencies was that this was a campaign orchestrated from the very top. That is, it came from Vladimir Putin. It was an effort to sow discord during our election, and also to help Trump and to more significantly hurt Hillary Clinton. And it outlined the reasons for that and some of the evidence of that. Of course, since that report came out in January, those conclusions have been reinforced by a lot of new information and evidence. And probably the biggest category in the public domain is the social media campaign that the Russians did, in addition to the hacking and dumping operation. Because we see vividly now in that social media campaign that they were trying to accomplish those three objectives that the intelligence community laid out. That is, the ads were designed to sow discord in the United States and deepen our divisions. But the ads were also designed to attack Hillary Clinton and, in cases, to boost Donald Trump. So we've had a lot of confirmation of the findings of the intelligence community, and to call these career public servants a bunch of hacks while you're effectively saying, it's insulting for me to even question my Russian adversary, is a terrible disservice to the country.
And the president said that the entire story of Russia's influence on the campaign is fake news made up by Democrats who wanted to explain away election that they should have won but lost to Donald Trump. Would there be any incentive for the intelligence agencies to come up with that consensus you just laid out pretty clearly, to act in a partisan manner? In other words, to have something out for Donald Trump?
No, of course not. For those of us that have worked with these intelligence and law enforcement heads, the idea, for example, that Jim Clapper, this career public servant going all the way back to Vietnam, who doesn't have a partisan bone in his body, would somehow decide to have it in for Donald Trump, is just absurd on its face. And I think when the president calls them hacks, among the professionals in the intelligence community, it just further lowers him in their estimation. Of course, it lowers him in the estimation of people around the world who work with our intelligence agencies and have worked with these men and know the caliber of their work. So more than anything else, he hurts himself, but he also hurts the country.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you so much for being on the show this morning.